My friends, good day. I'm finding it harder and harder to figure out Macron. He showed up in Davos wearing sunglasses indoors. I don't know what's wrong with his eye. Maybe he got hit or something like that. Anyway, it's not a laughing matter. Domestic violence affects men and it also affects women. And it's an extremely serious issue. That being said, well, there you go. He's the president of the Republic right now. What did he say? He came up to the podium and he said, "We follow the science, not conspiracy." We trust science, not conspiracies. So what he's doing is creating a false duality. Like, I'm science, I have a monopoly on rationality. That's why my country is doing so well. That's why, there you go. We have full employment, no crime, inflation is under control, gross domestic product is rising, businesses are thriving. Because we are rational, we are led by men in white coats with test tubes who go to their laboratory every morning. And they come up with extraordinary results that we use to run the country. You can see that's nonsense. He is the rational one, the others follow the conspiracy. So he's saying, for example, that countries like the United States and these institutions are run by the conspiracy. All right, the United States is stronger than Europe. The United States, which just before the 2008 crisis, which by the way they caused, let me remind you, were actually economically inferior to Europe. You can look at gross domestic product indicators or any other economic indicators you like, and you'll see that they were lower than Europe's. Back then, before 2008, when you went to the United States with euros, you felt like a king. You could buy dollars for next to nothing, spend as you wanted. You had an extraordinary standard of living. I guarantee you it's not like that anymore. Don't try going to big American cities anymore. Don't go to New York, Washington, or Los Angeles with euros. You're honestly going to feel bad. So since then, what they've done is increase their productivity. They've increased the size of their companies. They've increased their market share. They've practically increased their gross domestic product on just about every indicator you can measure. As an objective indicator, they've gone up. Yeah, but with the conspiracy, honestly, I'd love to be managed by conspiracists like that if they're that good. Another thing, what Macron says, we follow the science, hides a delusion, a totalitarian delusion. Because, my friends, France, if you look at its constitution, it's not a scientocracy. All right? It's not a scientific republic. It's not a republic run by scientists who bring the absolute truth which will be administered to the people whether they agree with it or not. But no, that's not it at all. On paper, it's a democracy. I mean, on paper, all right? That means democracy is the power of the people. As the people, it's enough for us to be the majority for something. We don't need to be right. We don't need to be right. Whether it's a politician or a scientist, I could be wrong. Yes, I'm wrong, but I'm still the boss. That's how it is. That's democracy with this whole scientist thing. What does he do? Macron is staging a coup. He's staging a coup against the people. He doesn't care about the people's opinion. I have a scientific committee. They're the ones who come up with the truths, and I just apply them. If you oppose me, you're a conspiracy theorist. Is revolving door employment a conspiracy? Is this a conspiracy to meet ministers? Serving big companies and then going to work for them, ending up on their payroll, working for big firms, doing consulting? Is that science? Is that conspiracy? Or what is it? What do you call that, you see? What do you call the fact that crime has reached such a level today in France? That you have orange employees who have to wear bulletproof vests at the office because people shoot at them. They shoot through the windows. What do you call the fact that you're in France? You can measure it scientifically if you want with statistics. You can ask scientists to make you graphs. Every 2 days, there's a criminal kidnapping in France with ransom demands involving crypto, armed criminal groups with no morals, ready to do anything, have people's information. They have their names, their addresses. They'll go find them in remote villages in France and hold them for ransom to get crypto from them. State services can't keep the files secure. They get hacked every few days. Is that science or not? Every few days they get hacked because they're unable to keep data safe when it's not their own agents selling the data to criminal groups. Some have been arrested. I don't need to prove it. I mean, you think to yourself, what kind of world are we living in? This guy, he shows up and lectures people. He makes people laugh at home. He makes people laugh in China, in Russia, in Washington. He makes people laugh. When you see a president who has run his country into the ground, who has pushed it to bankruptcy, who has pushed it to division, businesses are closing everywhere. 70,000 closed in 2025. Now that 2025 is over, we're assessing the damage, but recovery still hasn't happened. 70,000 businesses closed in 2025, and probably this year it will be even more. This country is becoming dependent in every way. Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, even the clouds. There's absolutely nothing in Europe. Everything has been destroyed. Everything has been wrecked. Big companies. The French jewels have been sold abroad. The others, which are a bit less of jewels, have been relocated. The others, the ones we kept and didn't relocate, well, they were destroyed on the spot. They were crushed by regulations. They were crushed by confiscatory taxation. And in the end, what do we have? In the end, the country is collapsing in every objective way we can measure. And Macron, what is he doing? He's going to give lessons. We follow the science. You know what? Honestly, the country could have been run by an African marabout, okay? With talismans, crystal balls, and so on. I can say this marabout would have done a better job. Maybe with some goodwill, he wouldn't have caused the economic and social damage happening in France today, okay? Mercosur, can you prove that scientifically, Macron? Show the data scientifically. How do you prove that it's in France's interest to sign the Mercosur agreements? There you go. That's a final exam question. You have 3 hours to show it's good and won't harm more people. All right? It's not possible, okay? People like Macron and others don't follow science or fantasy or anything at all, not even conspiracy theories, nothing at all. These are people who are going off into some kind of delusion. And you notice the delusion too, of you look at the big head too. That's what's terrible because, you know, you could maybe accept it. Imagine a country that's really at the top, a country that's succeeded, a president who has turned his country around completely. Picture Bukele, for instance, from Salvador. Imagine if that guy comes and starts giving lessons. That's not his style. He's a pretty cool guy, but imagine, just for the sake of conversation, that he comes in, gets a big head, and starts giving lessons on, for example, how to reduce crime. At a stretch, and I mean at a stretch, you could understand if the guy got a big head because his results speak for themselves. All right? At least, yes, exactly. He turned El Salvador from one of the most crime-ridden countries in the world. He made it better than Switzerland, okay? You can understand that he got a big head. But Macron, what result? Individually, collectively, what result has his presidency achieved? What does this mean for France and Europe, since he always mentions Europe? That he can use today to justify his pride, to justify that he alone has a monopoly on rationality and that everyone else is completely lost. And that's unacceptable. Today, the world, when I say the world, I mean the United States, I mean Russia, China, Africa, the BRICS, India. I see these people commenting today about this kind of intervention. No one respects that anymore. It's over. People no longer want to see European elites full of pride, lecturing the whole world while they're sinking their own country. You know what? Make your country powerful, okay? Make it powerful, make it rich, give it its former glory with science or conspiracy. Whatever you want, use whatever cards you want, and when your country is on top, you see, that's when you come and talk, that's when you come and give lessons. Anyway, my friends, I'm going to leave you now.